And we're recording.
Excellent. Thank you so much. So, thank you all for joining us once again, and welcome to the fourth day of our University of Maryland St. Joe's Cancer Survivorship Week for 2021. National Cancer Survivors Day was Sunday and is an annual celebration on the first Sunday of June. We're excited extending it to a week of virtual events. As National Cancer Survivors Day, we're going to support the many challenges that come with a cancer diagnosis, cancer treatment, and life after a cancer diagnosis and treatment. We know that with over 16.9 million cancer patients in the US, it is incredibly important to support the ongoing challenges of cancer survivorship and to promote more resources, research, and survivor friendly legislation that can improve cancer survivors' quality of life. We put together an exciting week of virtual events that we know will interest, support, and serve you and your family wherever you are on your cancer journey. Our dedicated and talented staff at the Barbara L. Posner Wellness and Support Center and throughout the entire Cancer Institute are part of our events that you will not want to miss. Please share this week of events with your friends and family. All are welcome. And check out our website at umstjoseph.org/superhero for a complete list of events and links to each virtual event. Let us know of any questions you may have at cancerwellnesssupport@umm.edu or call 410-427-2598. And without any further ado, it is my honor to welcome again our nurse practitioner and yogi, Ginny Jump. She is a certified a certified yoga teacher and meditation enthusiast, and we are excited that she will lead us through this wonderful afternoon meditation. So, Ginny, stage is yours.
Thank you. Do I share my screen or can you pull that up for now? We'll
Uh,
start everyone with a
I
little bit of information about meditation. And so welcome to my afternoon meditation. And I just put in a quick slide about our events so you can see the event page and make sure you do share that with your friends and family. Lindsay's recording everything, so we'll be able to give you more information about where all that is after the week so that you can continue to look for those things and share anything you need to with friends and families. So we can do two slides now, Lindsay. The one advanced one and then if it's working for you, there you go. That's just that. And then now we'll stay here and we'll talk about the benefits of meditation. And I'm sure you've all come across people talking about or reading information about the incredible benefits of meditation in so many ways, regards to our physical health and our mental health. It helps to work with reducing pain and enhancing our body's immune system, decreasing inflammation within the body. Science and research is showing that it reduces feelings of depression, anxiety, anger, confusion, decreases the it, blood blood pressure, helps to reverse heart disease, improves the blood flow within the body and slows the heart rate, giving more oxygen-rich blood throughout the body to feed our cells, to help our cells stay healthy and not have breakdown and antioxidant inflammation and free radicals. Um, Again, promotes a sense of calm and wellness and balance. Helps us to control our thoughts. That's what we'll talk a lot about today, and we'll do experiential meditations to kind of go through that and see how we can pause, notice what we're thinking, pause, and change our thoughts to improve all of those things. Because when we have a happier thought or a non-stressed kind of thought, then it all has these different impacts on the body in different ways. It can increase energy, fight fatigue, promote better sleep patterns, and overall can reduce stress. So the Society of Integrative Oncology has a clinical practice guideline, and in 2014, they talked about meditation as supportive care to reduce stress, anxiety, depression, and fatigue in patients with breast cancer. They also recommend its use to improve quality of life in all cancer patients. Meditation-based programs may be helpful in reducing menopausal symptoms, including frequency and intensity of hot flashes, sleep and mood disturbances, like I said, of course, stress, and also muscle and joint pain. And we know that with menopause or with, I think we're still on the other one, Lindsay. um, and some of the medications that are used for cancer treatment, there can be joint and muscle pain. So that's really good information. And then research from the National Center for Integrative Oncology, the NCCIH, the National Center for Complementary and Integrative Health, excuse me. I really like that website for a lot of good information. And they talk about meditation reducing chemical identifiers of inflammation and shows promise to help regulate the immune system. Um, and a study that they did looked again at reducing the stress-induced inflammation, and that could be better than physical therapy, education about a diet, and music therapy. So all those things are really, really beneficial. There's been a lot of work by significant researcher and practicer and he created the mindfulness-based stress reduction program, John Kabat-Zinn, and he's shown consistently for many, many years the decrease of over 30% in both physical and emotional symptoms and major illnesses in all types of gender patients, age patients, and ethnicity. So there's a lot of support and research and science out there that talks about the benefits of meditation. So where do you start? So I have some categories, and the first one is, where do you meditate? So I want you to, after today, or while we're talking now, think of where would you like to find this place within your home, or even if you are in the office and working and want to have a routine of meditating for 5 minutes a day. How can you make a space for yourself that is that special place to meditate? Do you want to find that place outside? I know that that laundry room is a funny example, but maybe that's the quiet place that that person can find or that you can find. And you certainly don't want to be distracted by doing the laundry while you're in there. But again, if nobody else is going to be coming in, maybe that's the right place to be. And then the idea of setting up a little ritual place, but then what things are nice to be there. I like to start my meditation with, again, I have flowers, I have a candle, I have some incense that I burn at first, and then I use an essential oil. So I drop a few drops of, I particularly like lavender. That's very relaxing to me. There's also frankincense, which is very meditative. Sometimes when I do want to feel a little bit more energy, then I can use something that's more light and citrusy. All really good things we learned yesterday from Kathy's aromatherapy workshop. So I kind of get myself set in that nice place of where to meditate. And then I move on to how to meditate. So there are different positions that you can be in. So we can skip to the next slide, and we can see that you can either be lying down. Some people worry that they'll fall asleep, and you may drift off. If you've experienced our healing therapy sessions, you may know how you kind of feel like you fell asleep, but really it's an altered state of consciousness. You still have, your consciousness reaping the benefits of the meditation. You can have your timer, your clock set so that you don't stay asleep for too long. If you feel like lying down is the best way, and you can prop yourself in different ways with a bolster, with a blanket. You do want to make sure also that you feel temperature-wise comfortable. So have something there in case that changes. You can sit, and you can sit like I am now, sit like the woman in the picture, or if you are going to be doing something in a chair, it's just as simple as finding that comfortable chair, noticing your feet planted on the ground, noticing your hands resting on your thighs. Your palms can be down, palms can be up. If you've taken my yoga classes, you know that I say when our palms are down, it's something that's grounding us. So if we feel kind of, then maybe leave your palms down, and that's grounding. If you feel like you need some insight or awareness, you can leave your palms up, and that's a receiving position. So if you're sitting in the chair, it's the idea of finding what feels comfortable and adjusting that as needed. Lying down, same thing. Make sure you don't get cold. Make sure you feel like you are positioned as comfortably as possible. So there are different types of meditation, and the idea of how you sit or lie, it could be dependent on the different types of meditation, but generally what I'm going to work with you today, it doesn't matter. You just want to make sure that you're comfortable. And then we talk about what to meditate. Um, so the idea of keeping your eyes closed, or maybe if you can see my candle, I have a candle because some people like to have their eyes gently open and just look at the flame. And that kind of helps them to keep their thoughts to where it would best serve them. And again, I'll talk about that as we go through a couple examples of meditation. And then it's the idea of what do you want to say that can keep you in that place that helps the thoughts, because thoughts are going to come. Your mind is made to think, so they're going to continue to come, and it's just the way that we approach those thoughts that are coming. So sometimes I like to say, breathe in when I'm breathing in. I like to say, breathe out when I'm breathing out, because that helps me to stay there. I'm using those words as a distraction and a focus point. Um, you can notice the breath in. As you inhale, you can feel in through your nose, you can feel a coolness coming in. And when you exhale, you can notice how it's warm when you exhale out your nostrils. So again, they're kind of these focus points that you can use, or focus techniques that you can use to help you with the thoughts that will come and how to approach those. And then also you could do a visualization. You could have that you see the beautiful water coming up the shore, as the tide comes in or the wave comes in, and see that coming in and then just see that going out. And in a beautiful rhythm of in and out, that again gives you that focus. So we have the where, set that up. We have the how, the different positions. We have the what. And then the last one is meditate and just be. This is the idea of the thoughts and the moment to moment non judgmental awareness. So as we go through these, we just let the thoughts come in, we see them. And some people like to visualize a cloud. So the thought comes in on a cloud and they just let it float by. Again, I personally like to use the idea of a breath in, breath out, or feeling the breath in, feeling the breath out, or a visualization. So those are the key things for the where, the how, the what, and then just the meditate. I have some resources that Lindsay will show you briefly, and then we'll put on the website. There is Bilau's Mindfulness. It's a free online 8-week mindfulness-based stress reduction self-guided program. And mindfulness-based stress reduction is an 8-week program that teaches you how to meditate. I've gone through it. You can go through it at your own pace, like I mentioned. And I'm on week 6, and I started it a year ago. So you can start and stop and things because you just kind of go through it again at your own pace. But I've learned a lot from it, and I really appreciate the routine of it that it tries to give you. So it's a great online free resource of, again, a mindfulness-based stress reduction program. Then I use a guided meditation app, and I'm very sorry, we don't need to look at the slide, but I had a slide also of a woman with headphones on, and that example was that you can use guided meditations. You can lie down, you can sit up and just breathe, or you can do a guided meditation. And so I do like to use guided meditations, and I use what's called Insight Timer, and that's a free app. Other people are familiar with Calm or Headspace, and they, I believe, have fees associated with them. So I like the Insight Timer. And again, we'll put those resources on the website for you. So let's go through a technique that can be just a 1-minute meditation. And it gives us the foundation, I think, of how we can notice our thoughts and pause and then choose what the best way to think is. So it's called Stop, STOP, and you literally just start that way. You stop and notice what's going on. So let's give the example of a traffic jam. So we're in a traffic jam, and if you want to visualize this with me and close your eyes, you can. And again, practice getting yourself into what is a comfortable position for you, so that you can start to create this routine that hopefully you'll want to create and be able to do. So stop. So just literally stop. Let's say we're in a traffic jam and we stop and notice what's going on. What am I thinking to myself? I'm thinking that maybe I'm late. I can't believe I did this again. How can I always be late? I'm going to get fired. I'm tired of this. I just wish I could get myself together. So you're noticing all those thoughts that you're thinking to yourself, maybe even saying it out loud. You're noticing that your head hurts now. There's some pressure in your head. You have pain in your head. You feel anxious. So you're noticing these things. You stopped and noticed. The next one is to take a breath. T, take a breath. So you breathe in, you breathe out. I like to say do that 3, 4, 5 times of breath in and breath out. That just gives you that moment of pause. Then you move on to O, to observe. Observe something different than all those things that you were just feeling, because you've now taken a breath and you are able to say, I love my steering wheel. I love how secure it feels. I love being in my car. I feel safe here. I love the music that I hear from my playlist playing through the radio. I notice my air freshener in my car, and I love that. I notice wow, it's beautiful outside. There are beautiful blue cloud or fluffy white clouds. There's a beautiful sky. So you've taken yourself and started to expand and see something different than what you were focused on with your bodily and mind sensations. So you've stopped, you've taken the breath, you've observed, and now P is to proceed and the new possibilities of being able to proceed something different. So you know that there's nothing I can do about this traffic jam. I'm going to be delayed. What can I do now? What new possibility is there? I could enjoy the music that I'm listening to. I could feel the quiet of just being here in my car by myself and having this moment and this time to do something healthy, which could be appreciate the quiet and that time that you have. And it could also be to be able to say that, what's my next vacation? And then just take yourself on a fantasy and go off to that new vacation and all the planning that you can do with it. Maybe you need to come back to pleasant thoughts if that vacation and the stress of can you budget that, when will you budget that come. You keep using that technique of stopping and noticing, taking a breath, observing something outside of the body and the mind, and then proceeding with something new, new possibility, something that feels good, something that serves you better. So a little bit of that work all the time can be very, very powerful. And that's the 1-minute meditation. It's the idea that you're working with that stop technique, but that's meditation. It's the idea of our thoughts. So now let's go through a seated meditation. The idea that we're going to sit quietly. You're going to hear me talk every so often because I might be able to say, are you noticing this? And then just letting you let it go. So everyone please find a comfortable seated position again. And now maybe you want to just close your eyes. Start with the breath, so taking a breath in. Taking that breath out nice and slow all the way. And when you take a breath in now, try to notice the body. Notice anything in the body that feels uncomfortable or tense or is in pain. Go to that place. And then as you exhale, try to release some of that. Just visualize in the way that works for you. Is it a color that you see leaving your body? Is it just the breath that push that you have going out that gives more space? And a nice another breath in. Out. And now just sit quietly. We'll do this for about 5 minutes. Focus on the breath like we talked about. Breathing in, breath out. You noticed? What are you noticing? Just note it. Is it that your mind is wandering, you're thinking things? Accept that. That's what this is about. Just accepting that you have thoughts and then choosing to go back to your breath, go back to your visualization, go back to your awareness of breath. Is there a physical feeling? Just note it. A knee pain or a back strain. Just note it and go back to your breath. Accept it. It's just part of it all, but just go back to your breath or back to your visualization. Great. Well, that was 5 minutes. It might have felt like 5 hours. I hope not. And if you have any questions, let's kind of go over what that felt like and some things that we can learn from it. Either you can put them in the chat box or please unmute yourself if you're able to and just let's share a little bit about what that felt like.
I'll go ahead and ask a question. So I was actually speaking with somebody recently about meditation, and there can be a lot of guilt surrounding when your brain does start to wander, during meditation. Like, how do you give yourself that grace as you meditate of, not being so hard on yourself?
Great question. Thank you. And it's practice. It's saying, "Oh, I'm beating myself up. I'm saying something negative about myself." Sounds like this person already has that awareness that they're saying something negative. So it's noticing that, accepting it, and deciding to change that I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm doing the best I can. This is a practice that takes time and I'm getting exactly what I need from it today and tomorrow may be different. So thank you. I think that's a very good question. It's just acknowledging acknowledging that uncomfortable emotion. Just like I was saying, acknowledge an uncomfortable feeling. My um, stomach has been bothering me lately, and so I feel that now. And as I try to sit here and do this seated meditation with you all, I notice it, I accept it, and I go back to my breath. And it gives you a moment of peace and helps the mind to not be overly practiced at the negative or at the fear of the discomfort or the shame, as you're saying. So, great question.
I know you put in the slideshow some resources to use, but and an app I believe is another one you provided. Is it I'd be happy to include some YouTube videos, but do you have any personal meditations that you like to follow?
I basically have a favorites in Insight Timer, and because that is the app I use, and I would say that I use it at least once a day. I either go to sleep with it or I wake up with it, and it has the categories of meditations for anxiety, meditations for pain, meditations for sleep. So I go into those categories and then I have a slew of favorites from them. So that's my most go to place. So again, the idea of that seated meditation is to have that's a form of a quiet meditation. Next, we're going to do a body scan where you hear me guide you through and you have an awareness of what I'm saying to feel in your body. But the seated meditation, that quietness, it is again the practice of noticing what you're feeling. If you're feeling something in your body, allowing that feeling and noticing it because that is the first step. That's increasing your awareness. And then you are able to accept it and let it go because you want to come back to focusing on your breath or on your visualization. You don't have to fight to answer why am I feeling that. You just accept it and then you change your focus. So that's the real key. As I obviously am continuing to say, for me, that's what meditation has taught me is the ability to notice, pause, and change. Um, that's kind of what I feel from that seated meditation. I'm going to look here to see if there's anything else I wanted to make sure I mentioned to you. And the idea of all these thoughts that come, again, we're supposed to think. That's what our mind is supposed to do. So we shouldn't be expecting us to be completely quiet and no thoughts at all. but it's the beauty of noticing a thought and then going back to the breath. And when you're doing that breath, maybe there aren't any thoughts. And those are your glimpses of bliss, of when the mind can quiet down. Um, and it can come more and more. There's research of how meditation helps the brain, and there's areas of the brain that light up when people are more practiced at meditation. Researcher Richard Davidson, he studied Buddhist monks, and he put them in functional MRI machines so that they could see the brain as they were lying in there, and maybe asking them to think a certain thought, a happy thought or a sad thought. And to begin with, their brains, just the amygdala, the emotion part of your brain, theirs just lit up beautifully. Um, and I think what I remember from it is that they couldn't stay on a negative thought for very long. Like the brain wouldn't light up in that negative way as much as maybe someone else. So really interesting research from Dr. Davidson. Um, and how that all strengthens the brain and helps us to have, all these cascade of benefits that we talked about, being able to reduce inflammation, being able to improve blood flow, decrease blood pressure, reverse heart disease. They're all interwoven with one thing creates the other. The stress that we have within our body because of what we're thinking and how we're responding to it then causes the inflammation, the free radicals, the heart disease, the cellular breakdown, the cancer. So, working this way can really help to decrease that stress response. It's really the real thing that's happening there. And then also work with the brain to help strengthen the way that we cope with different stresses. Any questions, comments? Maybe comment now. See something moving. So for the body scan, find a comfortable position if you want to try something different. For the body scan, I do this in my meditation classes, sometimes at the end when we're in Savasana, and that is the lying down position, but you don't have to. So you can sit or you can lie down, and you can sit here, you can sit on the chair, but we're going to close our eyes again, and we're going to start with those breaths. Breathing in and out. Again, in and out. And this third one, really deep in, as deep, deep, deep as you can. And at that top, hold it. And then exhale. Really push out the last little bit of oxygen from those lungs at the end. And then on inhale, just a normal breath. Back to your normal in and out breaths. And now I'm going to mention a part of your body. So you're just going to think that. So let's start with the right big toe. So think, see, notice how it feels. Left big toe. Move on to the next left toe. The middle left toe. The fourth left toe. the pinky left toe, the ball of the left foot, the left ankle, left heel, whole left foot, the right big toe, the right second toe, right middle toe, right fourth toe, right pinky toe, ball of the right foot, right ankle, whole right foot, both feet, the left calf, left knee, left thigh, the whole left leg, notice the right calf, feel or visualize it, the right knee, the right thigh, notice the whole right leg, both legs, your left hip, your right hip, just both hips, notice your whole lower body, notice your belly, notice your chest, notice your back belly or your low back, notice your back chest or your shoulder blades, notice the breath in, feeling that whole area as you breathe in. Feel it expand outwards and sideways, and feel it come in as you exhale. Notice your left hand, notice the left palm, the left top of the hand, the left wrist. Notice or feel your left forearm, left upper arm, your left collarbone, that whole left arm. Notice or feel or visualize your right hand, right palm, right top of the hand, right wrist, right forearm, notice your right upper arm, right shoulder. Notice, feel, or visualize your whole right arm. Notice your whole upper body from your neck to your hips. With another breath in, notice it expand out in front and back and on both sides. And on an exhale, feel it all come in. Notice the back of your head. Notice your jaw. Notice your tongue resting in your mouth. Notice the area between your eyebrows. As you breathe in, notice that area. And as you exhale, release any tension, any thoughts. Notice the temples, the area on the sides of the eyes. Again, with the breath, breathe in and notice that. And on an exhale, let it go, any tension. Feel the top of the head. Feel the whole head from the neck to the top, in the front and in the back. Now notice the whole body, from the toes to the top of the head. And then on the next inhale, you can gently open your eyes and come back to the awareness of your room. Do you have any questions or comments about that experience of a guided meditation? We did a little bit of a seated, quiet meditation where you just work with your breath and no voice over, or a guided meditation like that one. So I'd love to hear if you have questions or comments about the differences, and then again about how to work with noticing our thoughts, being kind to ourselves, and changing our thoughts that can serve us so they can serve us better.
I can't think of any questions at the moment, but as always, if anyone does have questions, they're welcome to contact me, and I'm happy to field them and get an answer for you.
So I do a lot of this work also within my yoga classes. So if you'd like to explore more of it and the benefits of meditation and of course of yoga, which are both very similar in their benefits, please join me. I have a yoga tomorrow at 3. And then we have a yoga every Monday at 12 o'clock lunchtime, and every Wednesday at 4 o'clock. And they're a gentle yoga class, and about 30 minutes long. And I'd love to work with you all through some more yoga and more meditation.
Well, thank you so much, Jenny, for your time, and that truly was beautiful and very relaxing. Thank you, and as always, this will be recorded and posted shortly. So we hope you enjoy the rest of your day.
Great.
Thank
Thank you all. You too. Bye bye.